post on Instagram and Facebook. So people start to... All right, thank you, live now. Galera, então, hoje a entrevista super legal com Alex Moss, que é o desenvolvedor, criador do Tactical Arbitrage, é o deus do Tactical Arbitrage. Já vai aí fazendo share, já vai convidando seus amigos para poder participar e tirar suas dúvidas sobre o Tactical Arbitrage, que eu tenho certeza que vocês vão gostar. Tá? Para quem não me conhece, meu nome é Gustavo Martins, eu sou o criador do curso Vendedor Online Internacional, eu fui o primeiro brasileiro a ensinar os brasileiros a vender na Amazon, desde 2017, comecinho de 2017, então já tem bastante tempo aí nessa jornada. Desde o começo eu já falava sobre o Tactical Arbitrage, já tinha um cupomzinho de desconto para todo mundo, então finalmente vamos falar com Deus aí da ferramenta e vamos deixar ele explicar para vocês um pouquinho. A princípio, eu queria que ele se apresentasse e falasse um pouquinho dele, da ferramenta, como surgiu. E vamos ouvir dele um pouquinho aí. Alex, first of all, nice to meet you. Thank you very much for being here with us today. So I really appreciate your time and your knowledge. I'm sure everybody else is going to appreciate it as well, because we are all looking forward to learn from the god of tactical arbitrage, the guy that create these amazing tools. Because we know, right? I started doing Amazon in 2015, and I believe tactical arbitrage started in 2016, right? So you create like Amazon before tactical arbitrage and after tactical arbitrage. So I want you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about this tool.
Okay, sorry, I had my microphone on mute. Yeah, thank you so much for having me as well, Gustavo. It's fantastic. I understood a little bit of what you said in the introduction. I can speak some Spanish, but my Portuguese is, no good at all. Yeah, so tactical arbitrage came about from a need to solve a problem. When I started tactical arbitrage, I was doing some online sales myself through FBA. And it was just extremely difficult, especially not being in America myself, being over in Australia. There was a lot of different steps involved in actually finding a product to sell on Amazon. And it was just not an automated task. You had to go and find products in one location and cut and paste the title and drag it over, and you have to paste it back into Amazon. And then you go to the calculator that they've got on their site and you compare the price there and you do a bit of mental arithmetic. And yeah, it was just such a slow, painful process. And you might end up with, say, finding 1-2 products for the whole day if you work hard. So I built tactical arbitrage really to help myself. And it became pretty quickly apparent that it was going to be really useful for other people looking to find products to sell on the Amazon FBA marketplace. So after a little bit of time, we eventually made it sort of public. But yeah, I mean, I'm Alex, I live in Australia. My background is in film and TV, but this is kind of what I've ended up in. It's gone really well. We've helped a lot of people achieve success on the Amazon platform with our tool, and that's a good thing to feel when you go to sleep at night. So I'm happy about that.
That's nice. Have you ever thought that tactical arbitrage, when you started, that tactical arbitrage would be this tool that everybody would be talking about? Pretty much all Amazon seller uses, if don't use it right now, have used in the past, or probably going to use in the future, because have so many different features in there.
I knew it was a game changer, because we first hired some software developers to help me make it, and I told them my entire concept, and I said, let's put this together. I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and the first developers that we had built something that was basically broken. This is before 2016, like 2015, about halfway through 2015. They built something that wasn't very useful, but I could tell, even from that little skeleton of a product, that it was so much better than having nothing at all. So those developers didn't stay with us. They just weren't good enough for what I needed. So we iterated our developers until we had a really good group of people on the team. And by the time we created something that resembles the first release of Tactical Arbitrage, I knew that as soon as it went out into the public, people were going to want to use it, because it just made life just so much easier to find products to sell. And so, I mean, you can never know for sure. I was hopeful that it would do very well, but for me personally, it was extremely useful tool, and other people eventually felt the same way. And so, yeah, it went upwards from there. So happy days.
Yeah, that's nice. I use on a daily basis since I started using the tactical arbitrage since like 2016. So, and I always promote that to the members of my training. So I want to congratulate you for this amazing tool. I'm sure everybody are watching us and it's gonna watch later on, feel the same thing. So today, what I want to do, I have some questions that people post on my Instagram. So I want to have those questions to you, and then after that, I want to ask you to do like a brief tutorial on the platform, because I know there is new features. There's some features that I myself never use because I don't know what it's for. So it would be nice to have you like demonstrate some of those features for us, if that's okay for you.
And I guess there's probably some people watching who may not even know what tactical arbitrage is, and so I can explain it in a more simpler way if I've got the screen open in front of us as well. So no problem. Yeah. I can do that.
So I'm just going to speak in Portuguese a little bit. Então, galera, vai deixando aí os seus comentários. Se vocês tiverem alguma dúvida, eu tenho algumas dúvidas que as pessoas deixaram no meu Instagram, eu vou fazer para ele. Mas se você for surgindo alguma dúvida no decorrer do vídeo, quando ele for fazer o tutorial, coloca aqui nas perguntas, que eu já pergunto para ele direto, beleza? Coloca aí de onde você está assistindo essa live. Se você está gostando, dá um share, compartilha aí, vamos trazer bastante gente. O cara está lá na Austrália, está aqui dedicando o tempo dele para poder ensinar a gente como trabalhar com a ferramenta, para que a gente possa encontrar mais produtos, de repente encontrar produtos diferentes, beleza? Então, vamos lá. All right. So, I'm going to start with some questions. First question. I know that's what I wanted to ask, and I know a lot of people want to ask too. When are we going to have tactical arbitrage in Brazil?
So you mean for the tactical arbitrage Amazon Brazil?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an interesting question. Okay. So what happened a little while ago is like Amazon approached us and said, nobody's allowed to have a tool built into tactical arbitrage anymore called Keeper. I don't know if you know Keeper, but Keeper is an essential kind of tool if you're in the FBA space, just for getting a good indication of the sales trajectory of. So we're getting a little bit into the nuts and bolts of. I can't give you a straight answer because we had to say yes to Amazon. If Amazon says change something, we have to change it. Yeah. So we had to remove Keeper. So to remove Keeper, we had to draw on the power of the crowd of the people that are already using tactical arbitrage to get the data points that we need to create the history graphs that replaced Keeper. So for us to integrate Brazil, we would have to basically start without a history graph, and then as enough Brazilian people scanning the Amazon Brazilian site came in, that would begin to build the new graphs. So it's totally possible for us to add it. It's just it might be a little limited in functionality in the earlier days as that growth occurred. So sorry I couldn't give you like a more direct answer, but basically that's the reason why we can't just add things these days, because we were forced to accommodate that request from Amazon, which we're lucky enough we managed to do. We had a couple of competitors enter the space over the last few years, and I've noticed that a couple of them sort of went away around about the same time that they said remove Keeper. So we managed to do what we were supposed to do, but I don't think everybody did.
You know why they require you to remove Keeper? Is that a technical thing, or?
That's an interesting question too. I've speculated about that quite a bit. I know they're migrating their API from MWS API to a Seller API, and I think that might be a part of the reason why. But partly it's a compliance thing. It could also be to do with the way that Keeper collects the data from Amazon. I don't believe they're using the APIs in the way that people are supposed to use the APIs. I think they're using a more sort of sideways approach. There's a few different reasons, and I don't really want to speculate exactly the reason why, because I don't want to speak out of turn, because Amazon are my friends. So, you know, and I get on along well with the guys at Keeper as well. So I'm kind of in the middle where I'm just kind of doing the right thing by Amazon and doing what they asked me to do. And I can't speak exactly as to why they did make that change, but it's certainly interesting. It was a bit hard to accommodate that request, but we managed to do it. So we're happy about that.
Yeah, that's sad, because I mean, in Brazil we don't have, as for today, I don't think we have any of those tools available for Amazon Brazil sellers yet. So is that the reason you still have the camel on tactical arbitrage? Because I was just like, why? I mean, I haven't used camel for like, I don't know, God knows how long, you know.
No, I
a lot of people that started like selling on Amazon for the past 3 years, they don't even know what it's camel is.
I think that's more like we add things, and then over the years we add more things, and then we forget to remove something that we could probably like camel can probably go now. We probably can lose
it's
that
like
link.
some spider web there, you know.
Yeah. A bit of dust.
But
those guys definitely were very useful back in the day, and I'm sure some people still use them. But I think if I put a poll on the Facebook group, keep or throw away camel link, there'd probably be more people saying we don't need it anymore. So
yeah. They used to be good, right? They used to have the sales rank too, and then they suddenly stopped displaying the sales rank, and everybody migrate to Keeper only, and that was it. That was the end of camel. So, all right. This one already told us. All right, another question. Why do we need a professional Amazon seller account in order to run tactical arbitrage?
Okay, so first of all, I'll speak on the merits of having a professional seller account. So if you just have an individual seller account, then for every single product you sell, Amazon's going to take 99 cents more. So once you start selling a product a day, which is going to happen before too long, then you're better off being in a professional account, because then you'll pay $1 less per product. Secondly, by having a professional account, it allows you to utilize the MWS keys, which are used to unlock certain tools. Not just tactical arbitrage, but other tools out there also require you to use MWS keys in their software. But for the types of calls that we need to make to Amazon, it does require the user to have a professional account. I think anybody who's looking to get into selling on Amazon in a meaningful capacity needs to use a professional account anyway. I think, I can't remember because I haven't checked in a while, but I think Amazon gives you the first 1 month or so free anyway for professional. I need to check, but it used to be that was the case. That was the case, so that you could kind of start out like that while you got going. But honestly, if this is going to become like a regular income stream for you, then that, whatever that it is, I think it's $40 a month, whatever that is with Amazon, it's just one of the essential costs of running a business that you should expect to pay.
I agree with you, but running tactical arbitrage as an individual without connecting to Amazon store, does that have any influence on the results or not? Because I know if you have that, you know, we can see the restrictions, if the product's restricted, something like that. But why I'm saying this? Because I mean, I agree with you 100%. If you want to sell on Amazon, you want to take it serious, you want to make money, you know, you have to have an Amazon account, because you need those tools. You know, you need to invest in those specific tools.
It's just one of the essentials.
I know that there are a lot of people that, you know, when they start, especially in Brazil, I mean, the exchange rate now is 5.6 per one. So like $1 is equal to 5.6 in Brazil, which is a lot of money. I know there's a lot of people, they are like really tight on their budget, and they want to. So if you can save the $40, then maybe they just invest on the tactical arbitrage so they can get some products just to try out. So they don't have to have the Amazon professional account. So you're saying if it's not a professional account, if it's an individual account, that's gonna impact on the results too, right?
Absolutely. So what will happen is it won't be able to make those live requests to Amazon. So it's going to be leaning on what's called cache inside the software. Now, by using cache inside the software, it's basically going to need to have had another user in the network have scanned that particular product in recent history. So if they've done a scan on that product in recent history, then it can come up in your cached results. Now, the data might be slightly old. It might be a day old, or 12 hours old, or it depends on which site, basically. You can still make educated decisions based on that slightly old data, but honestly, it's going to give you a better experience, and you'll be able to access more functionality inside of tactical arbitrage if you have your MWS keys inserted into the software.
Okay.
So, yeah, long term, I would recommend professional account.
All right.
That might change because the we're currently migrating MWS to the new seller API, which is mandatory for all softwares to do that. We haven't done the full migration yet, so we haven't been able to test everything, such as trying to use the new API with an individual account. So who knows, in the near future, there may be an opportunity to use either. But at the moment, with the existing API, you are going to be limited unless you've got a professional account.
Gotcha. Is there any plan for a mobile version?
So I looked into this quite a bit. It's interesting. It's always on my job list. I've got a list of stuff that we've got to do, and we kind of prioritize. And I decided the first thing that we need to do is make tactical arbitrage more mobile responsive. Now that I can't show you my screen right now, but
are you able to share the screen?
Yeah, I can share my screen. So if I show my, there's an unreleased software, okay? We haven't released this yet, but when this releases, which actually has dark mode as well, it's a pretty sexy new look for tactical arbitrage. But one of the things that we did for it is we made it so that it's mobile responsive as well. So you can basically just log in on your phone, and then everything should just change so that it works well on a phone as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's going to be almost as good as having a mobile application. But instead, we don't have to write one for Android, or write one for iPad, or write one for iOS. I've done mobile applications for softwares before, and you do have to sort of write one for each device, an iPad version, and it takes a bit of time. So this is going to be pretty good. The only thing that I think a mobile application would benefit from is being able to utilize the camera in a store and actually scan a barcode or something if you're doing retail arbitrage. But as far as just...
And you do like a reverse search, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But as far as just like sitting upstairs on their iPad at night kind of thing, then when this version gets released, and we're going to start rolling out this beta version next week, when this new version gets released, then it's going to be much better on devices in general. And I think it's going to make sort of searching from the couch just a lot easier than the existing tactical arbitrage, which is a bit difficult to use on a small device at the moment. So that's is there more? I can answer some more questions, or should I actually leave this open now?
Yeah. Since you're there, why don't you go and do like a tutorial for us and then show some new features? And so I have a few questions that I need you to be on your screen. So it's such like settings, like what do you think about like optimizing best settings or filters to find better products? So it's good that you already have your screen open.
Okay, so if you're not familiar with tactical arbitrage, then this is the screen that you'll first be presented with when you first log in. Basically, it's a dashboard, and on this dashboard, you'll see the different kinds of searches that are available. Depending on which tier you signed up to, you may not see all of these types of searches here, but if this is the full suite, and in the full suite, you can see you've got product searches, Amazon to Amazon flips, reverse searches, wholesale search, and library search. Now, the three most popular ones are the product search, the reverse search, and the wholesale search. Now, a product search is essentially looking at stores like you might, let's use target.com as an example, and you're looking at retail stores for products that they've currently maybe got on some kind of a sale or some kind of a deal, or maybe it's just not even a deal, but it's priced higher over at Amazon. A good example of that last thing that I said is one that I'm scanning right now, which is Miniature Market. Quite often, Miniature Market doesn't ever have any kind of sale or discount gift cards or coupon codes or anything, but you can still find profitable items by doing a scan of that.
I like this website too.
Yeah, Miniature Market's great. There's actually so many websites you can scan in tactical arbitrage. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
How many websites you have added to the platform right now?
Across all countries, I think it's about 950.
Oh, wow.
And we're gonna have like a bit of a working bee after Laravel, which is the code name for the new release. We're gonna have a bit of a working bee to bump that back up to over 1,000. And we're always looking to add new sites and give.
So since you talk about this, Tactical Bucket, it's part of Tactical Arbitrage, or it's a different platform?
Sort of. Okay, so Tactical Bucket is run by a friend of mine, Javier San Juan, who's Spanish, actually. He's a lovely guy, and he created this software to work in conjunction with Tactical Arbitrage, which helps you add additional websites. Now, Tactical Arbitrage already had the option to add additional websites. You basically go into advanced, or whereabouts, so we go into settings, advanced user, and once you go into advanced user, you can create a new rule, and you can add a website that's not natively in Tactical Arbitrage. It's a great feature because if you have got a favorite website and it's not in TA, you're not completely stuck. If you can work out the different codes involved to access the prices and images, etc., you can insert those here. You can grab a developer off Upwork, etc., and then you can run these searches of those additional sites in here.
How easy it is to do that?
Well, so it's easier if you use a service like Tactical Bucket. That's where Javier came in. He said that this is great that you've got this feature, but not everybody knows how to go and hire a developer at Upwork and show them this and teach them how to start adding sites. So Javier went and created all of the different codes for a whole bunch of different sites, and then if you sign up to the Tactical Bucket platform, then you can add those extra hundreds of sites to Tactical Arbitrage with just a few buttons. So that's a really nice little additional feature that this little third-party tool that you can use to sort of increase the power of Tactical Arbitrage. You can still do it yourself, but this is not something that you need as soon as you start out. This is the sort of thing that you can sort of add later once you're familiar with the software. But I would recommend that if you're just starting out, that you don't worry about the advanced functionality just yet. Maybe stick with just some getting to know the software with the existing domains that are in there, and go from there.
Cool.
So to run a search, you would essentially just you could basically, if I go to the very most obvious settings here, you'll type in a domain, or you'll scroll down and find a domain such as Target. All right. And then we've got easy bulk in here as well. So I'm just going to clear the bulk categories from the last search, which was for Miniature Market. Now, Tactical Arbitrage has evolved a lot over the years. Originally, you could only do one search at a time. Do you remember that? You had to wait for one search to finish before the next search would start. And then I think in 2018, I spoke to the guys and said, we're not really using the full power of these keys that people are putting in there. We're only using about 10 to 15% of the power of these keys. So if we orchestrate this properly, we can do simultaneous searches, multiple searches at once. which is great because then you can do something, you can start something, and then if it's not, if you're not sure if it's going to do well or you just wanted to basically run another search at the same time, then you just start another one. So over in the Search Manager, I've got a search running here right now. But if I go into Product Search and start a search for something like, let's say, toys, we'll add that to bulk. Now, Easy Bulk's another feature we added a little while ago, which makes things easy as well. It's called Easy Bulk for a reason. It basically inserts a bulk selection of categories for you to search, so you can just start that search and then move on to the next one. We're always trying to add things to make the user experience, simpler, get you to those deals faster. So
for the Easy Bulk, if so, you just have like a certain quantity that you can use, right? Let's say I use for the entire target website. If I go to run on the site, I ran out of my Easy Bulk. Is that right?
Yeah, so you can add up to 500 categories there.
500, yeah.
So I might want to do toys. There will be an option to increase that once we release our rewards program, which is coming soon. So I can tell you a little bit about that afterwards, if you like, no problem. So I have for a long time too. I have the bulk list builder, the Chrome extension. Oh, yep.
Yeah, that helps too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and then you can bring the bulk list into Tactical Arbitrage.
Yeah, and import.
Okay, that's great too. Is that Tactical Expander, or that's another one as well?
No, that's from a guy. I have it for such a long time, man. At least like three or 4 years that I have it. It works fine. It's just like a Chrome extension. I can go to any website and just select all the categories, and they create the list, and then just import to Tactical Arbitrage.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, there's a few third-party tools out there that increase the power of TA. I love that the community has enjoyed the software enough to sort of build on top of it. It's great.
That's cool.
So we're going to run this search. I haven't really done very much here except select a domain and toys, and that's pretty much it. And I'm just going to go down here. I've got a few different settings here. Like I've selected these. I think this section is important, because if you can find a gift card which will give you a discount, like over at Ray's, they've got discounts that are 1.5% off at the moment. Or if you can find any cash back at the moment, then you should use those and insert those. Target doesn't usually have any cash back here, so we'll turn that off at the moment. But some stores really do have a lot. Like Walgreens might have 50% off sale or buy one, get one free. But then there's also like 10% cash back, and then you can find gift cards as well. So for example, Walgreens, you might be able to end up with 65% off by the time you've ordered the product. And that gets really good value. And then you can find those ROI products from there. So a lot of settings here. It might look confusing, but I don't touch very many of them at all. I usually just remove average 30-day ranks in the top 10% of products. And sometimes I'll say remove products with an Amazon price of less than, say, $10 or something, or I probably don't really want to sell anything much under sort of $15. And I don't personally use many other settings. Now, there is a lot of different settings here. Estimated sales is another way to search if you know whether something's selling fast. But if you're using rank filters anyway, then probably that's one or the other's fine. Number of sellers, removing oversized products. You might want to not sell oversized products. But the more of these that you tick, the more you might risk over filtering and reducing your results too much. Since we started adding in what's called column filters, which is these column filters at the top of the page, it makes more sense to me, and I know everybody has a different flow or different pattern of searching. It makes more sense to me to use the filters at the top of the page like an Excel spreadsheet than it does using the filters in the search.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's how I do it, and that's how I teach my students on my training. So I say that I leave the filter open, and then I do manually. I go manually, and then I filter by column.
For me, that's much better. I know a lot of, like, everybody's different, and some people really need, like, the remove oversized products. An example of that would be, okay, so I'm here in Australia, so I have to use the prep and ship house in America if I'm going to sell. And the prep and ship houses might have $1 for a standard size product, or there might be $5 for an oversized product. So in some cases, that's going to be just too much, and I might not want to mess around with oversized products. In that case, I'll turn that on. But you know, I usually like to leave as many things open as possible, like removing bundles, for example. Remove products if Amazon title contains the word bundle or pack, that kind of thing. You can put all those kind of words in there as well. There's a few different things that you could use to change your search, but in general, yeah, less is more. Costs and fees. Okay, so I do usually put in here my cost to prep, and I usually put about $1 there. And I would usually put like the cost per pound to ship to Amazon, because when you've got all the items arriving at your house, you've got to send them into Amazon. And I sort of usually put about 80 cents a pound. You know, depending on what you're selling, this might range for you between sort of 60 cents and $1. It's an approximate. You never know exactly what that UPS box is going to be when you send that into Amazon, but it's good to have something in there so you can estimate your return on investment more accurately. Now, this is a contentious point for people. I always put a really low figure in here. Okay, I always put only keep data if the gross return on investment is at least 1%. Now, people will say, well, I only want 30%. You know, I only want 40%. Okay, that's fine. You can aspire to get that. Why am I only putting 1%? Now, the reason for that is this. If I go into view data, for example, and I don't know, okay, so this guy here, right. So this game here that's found in Miniature Market, I can see it's a match. Looks good. It's $33. After my prepping and shipping, it's $36.62. And it's selling over at Amazon, $55. After fees, we're looking at $41. Okay, so it's not much profit. It's not much ROI. It's 12% ROI with $4.40 profit. Okay, so I'm not completely non-interested in this product. I mean, $4.40 is okay. If I sell 10 of those units, let's go and have a look and see how fast this item sells. All right, I can see that it's selling pretty quickly. We've got a sales rank of, you know, about 5,000, which should be a pretty good seller. I'm going to dunk into another tool here we've got here called Tactical Edge, and I'm going to let Tactical Edge examine this a bit.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. What is Tactical Edge? What is for?
So Tactical Edge is great. It goes in and has a look at the competitors and examines who else is selling on this particular product right now. Now, one of the interesting things is that we've got all merchant fulfilled sellers here. Not all merchant fulfilled, but we've got quite a few merchant fulfilled sellers. And so the guy who's holding the buy box right now is $55. So we do have a guy who's listed lower than him. He's only got a few items in stock. They're probably going to sell in the next few days, I'd imagine. So being an FBA seller, I can usually sell slightly higher price than merchant fulfilled and command the buy box. So I might come in there at about $58 and see if I start moving units there. There is a FBA seller here at $62. I can see he does not have the buy box. So I probably want to go somewhere in about here. Let's say start at $60, and then we're looking at a gross ROI of 23% instead of 8%. So instead of 12%. So what I'm trying to say here is by putting in a low percentage here, this 1%, if I had put in, let's say I'd put in 20, okay, we never would have seen that product, right? We never would have seen that product because it's coming up as a gross ROI of 12%.
Yep.
Now, by jumping in here, I can see that there's a very good chance I can get close to 25%. Okay, but I never would have seen that product if I'd put in a figure that's too high here. So always be careful putting in a figure too high, because once you start drilling into a product, you can usually find that there's variations in what you can actually get out of the product. In some cases, yeah, sure, you might find a 2% ROI, and you'll only ever get 2% ROI out of that product. But in some cases, you'll find 2% ROI, and it's actually the guy only has 2 units, and then the next guy's priced $5 higher, and you can get like 30% ROI. So it's definitely worth drilling into a product more once you start seeing them appear in the view data page.
Perfect.
So from there, I would start a search, and the software would start doing its thing and start examining.
So basically, there is no secret with the filters, right? You can play around. Because why I'm saying this, I have a lot of people that contact me. They say, Gustavo, I've been running tactical arbitrage for a week. I can't find any product. I'm following everything you do on your training. So, there is no secret. That's what I keep telling them, just open up your filters, try to do like a more broad search, and then change the stores, try to run different stores. So I was about to ask you the secret to find the product, but you just showed me that there's no secret, right?
Well, there is some good tips and tricks. Okay, so I'm sure you cover the tips and tricks in your training as well. But basically, what you should be doing is, have you heard of Sales Gazer? So Sales Gazer is a tool which lets you you sign up to Sales Gazer, and it will this is not my product, by the way. What I would normally recommend is you go and you sign up to newsletters from all of these different domains. Okay. So then in your email every day, you'll see all the sales, all the clearances. It'll come into your email and say, okay, Toy Wiz is having 20% off if you use the coupon code TOY20 today. Or True Value is having 30% off one category or another category, for example. So you could ride the waves of all of the different deals, coupons, etc., and then you stack those promotions with the cashbacks available. Like every place has different cashbacks. So if I go something like, I don't know, 6 p.m. And then I have a look at cashback, there might be, okay, they don't have any cashback at the moment. Let me try Walgreens, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, so Walgreens has got 6% off at the moment. So if I stack a store discount plus a cashback plus a gift card, then I've already reduced the buying price so much that the chances of getting positive ROI products are much higher. So I started a Walgreens search.
So just a question. This 6% tactical arbitrage loaded automatically?
Yeah, it does.
Also select the store, tactical finds if there are any cashback on any of the websites you guys have.
Yes, so we built this in a little while ago. We utilized the knowledge of a tool called Rev ROI that Christopher Grant originally built, and we integrated that into tactical arbitrage. So what this does, and this is primarily for the United States platform at the moment, which is where we built the proof of concept, which has been working very well. What it will do is it'll look at all these sites here: Rebates Me, Extra Bucks, Be Frugal, Ebates, all of those different places, and it'll examine what the different percentage discounts they are. Now, we would recommend that you access the Rebates Me site, for example, and have a look a little bit further into. This won't open for me because I don't have my VPN on right now. But it'll tell you a little bit about that, whether it's site-wide, etc. Ebates is normally a site-wide cashback. And then what you would do is you would utilize their link when you're checking out so that you can generate that 6% cashback, which they'll send to your nominated account or PayPal at a later date. So utilizing that as one of your store price reductions, plus whatever deal they currently have at the store at the moment, like a coupon code. And then if you could also stack that with, say, a gift card, like let's say over at raise.com, they have 100 $100 worth of Walgreens card for $90 at the moment. Somebody might be selling their raise cards over there. If you can stack enough things, then you can really drive the price right down. And then by the time that we're doing the calculation in the application, then we're starting to see those higher profits, and more products will appear on your view data page than somebody who didn't take the time to put this in.
Is there any tool to sign up to the newsletter in bulk?
Yes, so Sales Gazer, which is not my tool, and I'll see if I can find that. I believe that this was originally a Christopher Grant tool as well. I'm just opening it in another page here, see if I can open that there. Okay. So I'll see if I can sign in there. Okay, so here, for example, I just basically added some of the A products from Product Search, just some of the ones, just when I was trialing this service. And I just entered in some of these ones in the A alphabet, just as a test. And so I can see that I haven't logged in for a while, but I'm getting all of these promotions come through. Now, I might want to narrow this down a bit. So in the search messages, I can put off, like 50% off, for example. And if I do a search there, now I'm seeing just headings with the term 50% off, 40% off.
And of course, you create an email just for that, right? So you did not use your regular email for this.
Yeah. So this is protecting your Gmail account from getting full of newsletters. I would have recommended that you use a unique Gmail for this anyway, or a unique email that you check. Let
me just explain today in Portuguese, because I think this is a really nice tip that you gave in it. So, pessoal, o que ele está falando, o que ele faz, uma dica para poder melhorar os resultados é o seguinte: ele cria um e-mail qualquer, diferente do seu e-mail. Aí existe essa plataforma chamada Sales Gazer. Você pode ver ali, entrar e se inscrever. Pega todos os sites que são oferecidos dentro do Tático Arbitrage e cadastra dentro dessa plataforma. O que ela faz? Você vai pegar todos os cupons de desconto, todas as ofertas que esses sites estiverem oferecendo, vai cair aqui dentro desse Sales Gazer para você. Então, quando você for rodar, antes de você rodar o Tático Arbitrage, você vai lá ver se tem algum desconto especial em alguma loja. Então, em vez de rodar no escuro, fala, pô, eu quero achar um produto. Bem, eu vou pegar nessa loja aqui que estão oferecendo hoje 15% off na categoria tal. Entendeu? Então, é uma dica super legal. Eu não fazia isso, não sabia nem que existia esse Sales Gaze, então já é uma dica bem legal para vocês que estão assistindo. All right? Back.
Okay. So once you've basically found the sales or deals that you wanted to have a look at, that's when you would normally inspect the website a bit more. So let's say we're looking at Walgreens. This little blue icon here will open this for you. Now, for those, just before I jump into here, for those who are like too confused by the interface when they first start, you can always pop across to Basic. Now, Basic basically does everything that I just said in a much simpler way. You find the website you want to search. You'll select a category from the drop-down menus, and you'll enter your site discounts in there. But I still prefer Advanced. I feel like Advanced has a lot more functionality, and it's not too confusing once you get used to it. But there is the basic option there for people who are just starting out.
Right.
So anyway, you go to Walgreens, and so like Sales Gaze has told me Walgreens has got a sale, for example. So I'm going to have a look. I go shop products, and I'll have a look at what sales they've got on at the moment. Okay, so these items are all on sale. That's not really what I want to look for, though. What I want to look for is any kind of weekly kind of deals. Oh, here we go, weekly deals. Okay, so there's 20% off this particular product. That's really great because I know I'll just be able to put in 20 right there when I start my search. Or buy two, get the third free. That's going to be 33% off straight away. So if I was to scan this particular category, now it's a tricky category, this one, because you'll need to get into ungating of topicals, for example, hazmat. There's a few other things that you might need to get across if you're going to start selling these kind of products here.
Yeah, but it's just for an example. Well,
just as an example, yeah. So in this case here, you would so you could just outright, you could just select the URL. You can also search just the URL. So we'll start a new search. And we'll go to Walgreens. Right, and we'll stick that URL in here. And now all of these filters I inserted earlier are actually sticky. I'm going to insert the 33% store discount. I'll keep everything else the way that it was, and I'll run a search on that too. Okay, so that's now searching for sale items and looking for positive ROI on those items.
Yeah, that's a really nice tip. How can we download? So in order for us to do upload in bulk on the platform, what do you call it again? Sales Gazer. So is there any way for us to download all the websites on Tactical Arbitrage in bulk so we can import the information?
I don't believe that Sales Gazer has that functionality. I haven't explored Sales Gazer enough. I was recently told about it, and I thought, you know what, that's really, really useful. But I went through and I added each of the sites one by one. It was just check boxes. All the sites were there. I just was check. All right. You could probably just turn everything on and just see which ones are there. If you've got Tactical Bucket as well, then probably most of the stores will be covered across both Tactical Arbitrage and Tactical Bucket throughout Sales Gazer. So the next thing you would do once you've run a search is you pop on in. So you've got your search manager, which tells you the searches that we're running now. We've got the Walgreens search, product search, Mitch Market and Target. It tells you a few extra things in there. It also tells me that in this particular account, because I've got an administrative account, I can run 10 searches at once, but most accounts can run 7 searches at once. I get a little advantage. So
of course, man, you're the god.
Now, there's other searches that you can have running at the same time.
Does that, if I have like 7 search running, does that like decrease the speed?
No. They're all going to be running at the same pace. It's fine. Okay. So you might have other things running in here as well, like reverse search, wholesale search. I'll just tell you what each of those are before I look at view data. So reverse search is like literally like going backwards. It's like you insert a list of Amazon ASINs or a particular category. Like if I go reverse search over here, we have a really cool feature built into reverse search called best sellers, which is super, makes life really simple. Mm-hmm. So you can scan best sellers and you go down here, and let's stick with toys. I know toys has had a few issues lately where they require certain documentation for certain toys, but I like toys, and I would always try and work around any Amazon changes that they made anyway. But toys and games, for example, and then all I need to do is hit search. That's it. So what that's doing now is it's going to have a look and see how many toys we've got in the bestseller category, and we're going to start comparing those backwards against all of the different stores that we have in the Tactical Arbitrage database. So it's going to start looking for, what do we got here? 169,676 ASINs. That's a really fast way to collect a whole pile of ASINs that are currently best-selling products, and examining those to see whether or not any of the stores in our system have those products in stock, and whether or not they're at a price which would give us a positive ROI.
It's also good to spy on our competitors' stores, right?
Oh, yeah. So reverse product search is really cool because I could go into, say, Tactical Edge here, and let's say we really wanted to see what this top guy here had in his storefront. I can just click this little button here, and it'll go and extract whatever products he's got from his storefront and start searching those ASINs as well. So that's another cool little system built in there.
There is also the option to put the store code, right? If I'm not mistaken, if you go to the reverse search.
Yep. Sorry, start a new search.
Seller ID, right? You can put the seller ID there, and then you.
Oh yeah, you can. So seller ID is a global system. Global system means that if somebody else is using it at the exact same moment, you might have to wait 30 seconds for them to finish with it. But you can run up to 6 of those searches per day, just sort of seller ID. So that's another way you can do that. So let's say we knew this guy's seller ID. We took it from. Sorry to whoever this is. Let's say we took his seller ID from his URL here. We could.
I hope you're not watching. I hope you're not watching this.
we could paste that in there. Hit search seller products, and somebody's using it right now, but they just finished using it. It became available. It's going to go through and it's going to check. It's going to check their products, and they're going to start doing a reverse search of their products there.
I'm a big
fan.
That
is another way to use it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of reverse search. I do reverse search using Keepa. I do reverse search doing these when I'm just regular, like searching on Amazon, and I see I store that I want to see, all the products. I do reverse search that way. So I love this reverse search feature. Reverse
search is so good. It's probably one of the easiest additional searches you can do with minimal input. So I like to say, on the dashboard page, that if there's one of these lights is not green, for some reason these two greens are different. They should be the exact same color green. I better talk. It's not a major thing, but I better talk to the developers about that. So if they're both green, that means that there's a search running in products and there's a search running in reverse, but we don't currently have a search running on flips, wholesale, or library. So,
so it should be green and red.
Yeah.
So red light, green light.
Yeah.
So orange to match
green. If you can have more greens, then you've got more sort of income streams. You might have a wholesale search and a reverse search running, but it's so easy to get a reverse search running just by starting a bestseller search. So that's cool. Reverse search is actually part of the online arbitrage tier as well. So if you sign up to product search, you actually get reverse search as well. Wholesale is an additional module. But yeah, that's these two are bundled into the one. The other thing which we added, which is new, which is I think one of my favorite most recent features, is always be scanning. I had it open a second ago. I just closed it.
There's another thing that I was going to ask you because I have no idea what is that.
Oh, always be scanning is great. I'm just gonna. I just had it open. My software always complains when I'm screen sharing a Zoom chat at the same time. But okay, so always be scanning. Basically, what this does is it just continually searches the Amazon catalog for profitable items, doing basically a reverse search. Now, it only does UPC matches, so you almost always get these really nice, perfect product matches. This is actually showing me German products at the moment because I have it set up like that I can see all the countries. But if I select just the United States, for example, this is without me even running a scan. So
if I go to my Tactical Arbitrage now and I click on always scanning,
there will be products there, and they're not the same products for any two users. So you will not see these products in your account. You'll see completely different products, and you'll find some amazing things in here that you never thought to search. Like you may not have thought of like searching for this like flying rocket kit or a kitchen knife or a particular microphone that looks a bit like the one that I'm using right here, or like a curtain rod, but always be scanning basically has like one instruction: must be profitable and must be a UPC match. Okay,
so there's no way for the user to change the settings. Now it's like a TA settings. It's keep running 24/7.
No, you can turn it off. You can turn it off if you want, but you're going to find good products by being in there. So most people will enjoy it because it's the laziest way to search with tactical arbitrage.
No, I'm not saying about shutting off. I say about it, say, it's coming shoes. I don't like shoes. Is there a way to change the settings or the filters, or no? It is what it is, and you can just go there and
oh, of course. So in that particular case, I recommend you'd use one of the column filters,
okay,
and then just remove those items from here.
Gotcha.
Because what will happen is every 28 days, the items will disappear from here.
Wow.
So if it's sitting there for any length of time, it'll disappear. So at any point, it's got the most recent products on there. And you can also go across and just say search in last update. You might just want to, if you're checking this every day, you might just want to say, show me the last 2 days worth. So then in that case, I might put 0 to 2 in the last days, and then it'll only show me the most recent ones.
Well,
so I like this because you can wake up in the morning and go, I just don't feel like working today, and just jump in here and just see if you can find stuff, you know.
That's really nice. Now, I knew that was there, but I had no idea. I always say, like, I always scan, I always see products there, but say, what those products are coming from? You know?
Yeah, I mean, check them out. You'll find stuff.
That's the laziest way to run tactical arbitrage. It's really nice. Good idea.
Yeah, I mean, like this guy here's got 33%.
Yeah.
When people say, I don't know how to find products, then the first thing they can do is just open up their Always Be Scanning page. You won't get much in there on day one because it takes a few days to sort of build up the products. But every day that it's open, you'll start to see more and more in there. And that's another reason why you need to have your professional account, because if you don't have your MWS keys working, nothing's going to come into this page.
Okay, see?
So there's a few different cool ways there. And ultimately, what you're looking for is, in the end, is this view data page and the results that appear on the view data page. And you know, you go over here and you'll check your ROI and your gross profit. You'll analyze the other sellers that are there, and then you'll make a buying decision. You know, is this selling enough? Is it selling fast enough? Are we seeing enough sales history on there? Like this guy here is selling 246 a month. What are we looking at? 50% ROI. Let's have a look. I don't know about that one. That might be a 2-pack. Yeah. Sometimes tactical arbitrage will identify with a product that Amazon has a bundle. So you can actually remove bundles from your searches if you wanted to do that. It's just one of the, you know, idiosyncrasies when trying to get an exact match. The reason for it will be is that this product exists here as an exact match. So we still see an exact match, but the guy who's listed the product is actually doing a bundle. So tactical arbitrage has
tactical arbitrage, when they search for the product, they search by the UPC number, by the picture, or by the title, or a combination of those information.
So it's super interesting. So I took a risk by doing see, Miniature Market is not a UPC site. So I took a risk by searching a site which is not actually universal product codes, right? Because title searches are notoriously difficult to get matches. But a little while ago, a couple of years ago, I spent, well, almost a year creating an algorithm which does deep neural artificial intelligence learning, where it looks at the products. See, this product title here is kitten. It's not spelt right, okay? So there is a chance it would match correctly because it's KITTIN. And it's matched against Amazon's KITTIN. But it's such a small title, there's a chance that it would never, ever make a match. But the reason that it's made a match is it's also analyzed the box. And it's had a look at all of the different features on the box, and it's given it a rating and decided that that is an exact match. We're happy that that's an exact match. And based on that, we're able to like present that as like a most likely going to be that product. I see a few bundles in there for this particular site. We've got more bundles this site than most sites, but then there's plenty of this sort of just straight up matches as well. So Miniature Market's great. I like Miniature Market. For some reason, a lot of people don't really source it. It's got the right size products. It's got the right size profit margins. There's always stuff there. And I often see that when I go to like number of people selling items, I can only see sort of 4 people on the product, and it might be a motion fulfilled seller. And yeah, you know, I just wonder
They have a lot of games that are restricted for a lot
of course, you'll get that too. And we have a little check restrictions feature built in to tactical arbitrage. In this particular example, I'm getting the message that, you know, it says, good news, your account has no obvious restrictions on selling this item. And it also says this product is not hazmat or dangerous goods. So for me, I would be able to sell this particular item, but I might not. And the reason for that being, I just saw the graph, and you get really good at seeing all of the elements on a row really quickly. After a while, after you've done it 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times, you start seeing little things. So like, I would like to drill into more why it's recently jumped up in price here. Okay, so what it's selling at $78.68 now. It was selling at $55.25. So I probably wouldn't sell this, because at that higher price, it might be profitable, but it might not sell as fast, and you might not be able to sustain pricing it at that. But as I go down here, there would be many items that do fit the exact kind of item that I'm looking for: a stable price, regular sales, you know, a healthy gross ROI, very little competition, and then, you know, as long as we've got no restrictions as well, then we're going to move ahead on that product, for example. So that's how you search. You find the sites that are currently sort of offering something that you're interested in. You do your best to stack that with cashbacks, discounts, that kind of thing. You run your searches, keep your filters loose. Don't over filter, and then you want to keep your return on investment expectations low, and then do your additional filtering and analysis inside the view data page, and then use Tactical Edge to look further at a product to see whether or not you can increase the price. So, I mean, if this guy here was merchant fulfilled as well, I would also price higher than him. It looks like we are getting UPC from Miniature Market in some cases now. Miniature Market never used to be a UPC site, but our developers are always analyzing the code to see when we can start extracting UPC. So we do have some UPC matches there for Miniature Market as well. So for there's other things you can do on this page. There's a million features we could go over, but like this, if I go to these different processes, I can see the Walgreens search that I started earlier, and I could also sort of have a look at that, which will show me a different range of products again. And I imagine there'd be more restrictions in this particular category. So if I reset the filters on here, I'm going to see.
That's the Walgreens, right? You already found one product.
Well, I'd say there was probably more, but I had some filtering in place there. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I found 214 products. I'd selected the wrong process. So there's 214 products here. Nice. But because there's a lot of topicals, and this one that I've just used here, like acetone is flammable, that you're going to want to go through here and find the ones that are, you know, are most likely to be. Like, you'd probably be okay with this makeup, for example, as long as you weren't restricted for that brand. But there's going to be items here for sure. What's this? An eyeliner. So that'll, you know, I'll check the restrictions on eyeliner. Your account has no obvious restrictions on selling this item, and it won't be hazmat. It's not dangerous goods. So yeah, there's going to be items in every search that you do that might fit your different business model. Did you say you had some questions on the settings as well?
You know what? I think the most questions people have is this: like how to find a product. And my question is there any tweak, anything on the settings that we can do to make the search more optimized, you know, make the search better to find more products, or not? It's just pretty standard.
So you can think ahead, right? So let's go to Target, because I did a Target search before too, when we started talking. Now I know what Target's like. Target has a lot of people jumping in and buying the products because some people think, where do I start? You know what? I'll start with Target. Okay. There is so many hundreds of sites to look at. I would recommend that you explore all of them and see what works for you, see where you find those gems. But Target, for example, people jump on and they may discover that the product is not in stock. Now I can see here it's saying that the product, these ones are in stock. I'm going to try and find one that is out of stock actually. It's saying that very few are out of stock. But okay, let's say this particular item here is out of stock. So what you can do is you can add this to a saved folder, and then you can run an auto update. So once a day, it'll check this product to see whether or not it's come back into stock at Target. And when it comes back into stock, then you can get an email or an SMS to say, by the way, this Funny Faces restaurant jigsaw puzzle is now in stock. And so then you can decide to make a buying decision from there. So I think that's one cool little feature in settings that not a lot of people really capitalize on. But I was surprised to see so many items that were actually in stock there. So,
yeah. So in that you do in settings, right? That's how you go to.
So yeah, to open the settings page, I'll have to do in another window, which I will do because I don't want to reveal my MWS keys by mistake.
Please.
So I'm just gonna open that for you.
And then after that, I want you to explain, I want to say something about the wholesale feature, because a lot of people now are migrating to the wholesale business instead of arbitrage. So it'll be good to hear from you, any tips, any advice on running the wholesale on tactical arbitrage, so like a wholesale list or anything.
Yeah, of course. So in settings, in the notifications tab, you can select auto updates and alerts. So what you simply need to do is you select the folders that you wanted to scan. So you might have different named folders there, and how many times a day you want to scan that. And it'll tell you when the item comes in stock or reaches a certain return on investment.
Oh wow, that's nice.
So which is cool. And you can also send a notification when the estimated sales are over a certain number as well. And you can also tick only alert me when the products satisfy all those conditions: return on investment, in stock, and estimated sales. So that's actually I think it's a cool little feature. If you find stuff that's out of stock or not quite got a good ROI right now, you can save those in save folders, and then you can set this up to scan those daily, and it'll just send that stuff straight to your email account.
Yeah, that's a nice feature.
So there's in the searching, there's some search filters as well. So you might want to exclude certain categories just so that you don't see certain things. Like you said before, don't show me shoes. I can exclude those in the category exclusions there. There's price adjustments in here. A lot of this stuff we've actually built into the search pages now. So this prep and ship stuff, instead of putting it in to a search every time in product search, what I could do is I could actually set all this stuff up here in my settings and then save it, and then it'll just appear pre-populated in the product search from then on. So there's a few different things in the settings, and there's also some account management stuff in there as well. And let me jump into a wholesale search now. Okay, wholesale search. So wholesale search has gotten really fast, which I love. Okay, so if you upload a new file and you enable rapid search, there's a search here from recent. I won't. This is us like looking at a customer search, so I won't actually show you his
the results. Yeah,
his results. But I'll just run a search and show you how quickly we can do a wholesale search now. Basically, what it does is it's going to go through and like analyze all the different rows on the Excel spreadsheet. Now, on the Excel spreadsheet,
how many rows max?
So I believe it is 50,000 you can put into one wholesale manifest.
Okay.
And you can scan all the 50,000 products in once we basically first do the initial check on the Excel spreadsheet to make sure everything is formatted correctly, and then when it starts, it should go very quickly. It's got all the same sort of filters that you'll find everywhere else, and it should scan exactly the same. And it's just doing basically 100 rows at a time now, 100, 200, 300. The reason why it's not adding these, or it's up to 800 already, is because I already ran this scan. So those items are already on the view data page. So it's not going to re-add them to the view data page because it's already added to the view data page.
So I mean, it's pretty much the same, right?
Oh, maybe I deleted it because it actually is. It is adding those now. It's detected the 800 products on his sheet, and it's doing those. Thousands and thousands and thousands of products per hour can be done using Wholesale Search, and of course we can run multiple searches at once if you've got multiple wholesale manifests. There's a few different ways to search on here. Besides just importing an Excel spreadsheet, you can also. Now, this is something that actually works again through Tactical Bucket. You can scan a wholesale site which requires you to log in, and if you're required to log into the site and you get special pricing, then you can actually search wholesale sites now the same way you would search a product search page, but you need to be a member of Tactical Bucket for that. The reason for that is it's complicated. We can't just add it ourselves because we need to have a certain level of protection for the customer and the different sites and Amazon, etc. Whereas it can be done through a conduit, like a third-party tool like Tactical Bucket. So in that case, he can do it. There's also searching seller products in here, like we discussed before. You can search a brand page like Disney. You do a quick search of just 100 products that you want to quickly search, or a keyword search like Lego Star Wars. You can just do a search of wholesale products on there as well. But the most popular type of search is to get a manifest sent to you from a wholesaler, and then importing that manifest and then running a search through there.
Can you go back to the brand?
Oh, so, okay, brand. Yep.
So what you do, it's more like a reverse search, right, for that brand?
Yeah. So we start a new search. It doesn't. It's more about a brand analysis to see. Let's say you wanted to reach out to a company, okay, and you wanted to reach out and you wanted to sort of know what they sold, and have a look at basically what things sell for, and maybe compare that to the price list that you got off that one particular brand company, and ask them about certain products. It's more about sort of a brand analysis. I might go in here and type in Disney, and it's supposed to auto-populate with Disney there, but I'll check with my developer on that, but it's supposed to pop up with, it's supposed to pre-populate with Disney as I do that, and then you can search it from there. But it's definitely something I will check. I think that what's happening is because we're migrating to the new platform. We've some of the tools. So let me tell you about the new platform. By the way, I sort of showed you that very briefly before. Okay, so if I go to the new platform here, it looks just the same, okay, but it's been rewritten. All the code has been rewritten, so everything's faster. Everything loads faster, pops open really quickly, starts faster, changes between pages faster, brings up products faster. It's more modular. So being a modular system, it means that we can roll out code more quickly and we can release more features more quickly. It's just, in general, we're going to have like a better time when utilizing this new code. Now, we had to build it so it looked exactly the same at first, so that we didn't sort of confuse the migration. But now the migration's done, from there we can work on like additional user interface and user experience upgrades as well, more simply too. And one of the first ones that we did really was the ability to sort of put dark mode in there and have it more responsive.
I like the dark mode. I like the dark
mode.
Yeah,
I think the dark mode too. We're still sort of editing a few of the button colors so that it's still nice and easy on the eyes. But I think we're getting there. It's at the point now where I could almost release this and be sort of, we can make small changes later, but straight away it's nice and useful for people, which I think is good. And this is something that might be interesting to you as well. We're also adding language at the top. It's one of the advantages of this particular style of code is we can make everything modular. So I'm going to be having a drop down at the top here, which is like English, and then I'll be able to select, say, Portuguese, and then every single menu item on the page will be in Portuguese, for example, which will make it nice and easier to use for from people where
That's
English
nice.
may not be their native tongue. And so that'll be in place shortly after we release everything. We'll introduce the language packs and the drop-down menu there, and you should be able to select anything from German to Spanish to Portuguese to French or whatever you like.
Yeah.
Even if you've got virtual assistants that are running tactical arbitrage for you, you might be able to like select the Philippines, for example, and have it up in Tagalog.
So talking about virtual assistant, is there a way tactical arbitrage to create like a second user for the account for like a virtual assistant?
We don't have that feature in place at the moment. It's definitely in the list of features to roll out, but we do recommend that you password protect your settings page. There is an option to password protect that. And we also have view inventory now as well, where you can see all the products that you've got currently listed. I like the view inventory feature. The great thing about this, and we don't cover it enough, but view inventory is a really good feature because when you make a sale, you hear a little bell noise. So you'll be using tactical arbitrage, and then one of your Barbie dream houses just sells over at Amazon, and you hear tinkle tinkle, and it says the number of items of Barbie dream house just changed from 4 to 3 over at Amazon, and you're just like, yes, I'm making sales. That's cool. So you like. The good thing is you're working away and you're getting that little notification that, another.
Now you have to come up with an app, because I think it's one of the things that's missing on Amazon seller app is the ching ching when you have a sale,
Yeah.
You see a lot of people asking that on all the Facebook groups. So now you have to have an app just so you can hear the ching ching every time you have a sale.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool.
So anything that you can add for the wholesale, because I just look at the chat on YouTube and the people are asking him to go over more on the wholesale part of it. So anything else? Because I mean, it's very simple, right? There's no secret there.
No, there's no secret there. So if you wanted to import a new wholesale list, you just click the upload a new list button. It gives you all the instructions right here. It tells you here that you don't need to have every single column. It says that you need to have basically either the title, the UPC, or the ASIN, with ASIN, and the price, basically. Okay. So if you've got a list which says the title is this, the UPC of this product is this, and the price is this, like UPC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the price is $2. And we run that through the system, and we can find that in Amazon, and it's like $9.50 selling on Amazon. It'll compare the what's in your sheet to what's over at Amazon. Now the only difference is that you won't see the image of the source, because you're only importing basically the image of the. You can actually import an image URL if you want, but that's not common. Most people would just import, say, the title, the UPC, the ASIN, or any of those, and the price, and it'll just compare it versus the Amazon catalog and just tell you if there's profit in that. The most important thing you need to do before you get to this step is build the relationships with the wholesalers and get them to allow you to sell their products and give you a price list, that you can import to actually see. Now, it might seem like that's a daunting task, but there is literally tens and tens of thousands of different wholesalers and brands and places that you can approach. And once you start building those relationships and you're able to start importing these, this is a very nice, quick way for you to start that comparison process to try and find out what's going to be profitable and what's not going to be profitable. And you can now, we just recently added, you can import those from Google Drive as well, in case you're storing things over at Google Drive. Because you may want to rerun a list periodically, you can come in and just access that from your Google Drive of products every so often.
And you can also use the tactical bucket. You pay, of course, their fee to do the XPath for a website that you don't have the list, for example, right?
Yeah, so let's say that you've got a wholesaler, which is a toy company, but they don't really have a manifest that they send out to you. They do let you log into their website and access their wholesale platform, and the pricing in there might be like tailor-made to you. You might be seeing 10% off because you're a new customer, whereas if you're there for a while or you negotiate better with them, the prices might be slightly different in there for you. So if you utilize Tactical Bucket and the search wholesale site feature, then you'll be able to go in and you'll use the drop down of sites that you've added through Tactical Bucket, and it'll be linked to your sort of login details, and it'll match your prices versus the Amazon catalog, and that's instead of importing a manifest. Now, what will happen when you import one is you'll see an easy bulk as well for that particular site. So you can actually run an easy bulk scan the same way you would do on a product search. So it's a super handy way for you to add those sites, and it's very much money well spent.
I did that. I tried a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's really worth the money because I have a VA in Brazil that she runs those sites for me, and sometimes it takes 2-3 days to run the entire site manually. So it's much better. And then also you do the XPath, it's there for you to run anytime you want, right?
Yep. I think it's a one-time cost.
Yeah.
I need to check. His Tactical Bucket changes the business model a little bit sometimes, but I believe it's just a one-time cost. And then you can have that website here waiting for you to scan whenever you like.
Yeah, I really like them too. Yeah, I think it's pretty much it, man.
I'll just stop sharing the screen and I'll come back.
Okay.
Hey.
You're back.
I'm back.
So, pessoal, se alguém tiver mais alguma pergunta, fala aí. Já tem 1h20 que ele está falando com a gente. Quer dizer, já passou, fez um tutorial completo sobre a plataforma. Não estou vendo muita pergunta aqui. Eu acho que eu vou até finalizar, podendo segurar mais ele. What time is there right now?
12:20 p.m. It's lunchtime.
Lunchtime, man. It's good. How's the weather?
It's so hot. It's
hot?
Well, yeah. How about where you are?
I'm in Massachusetts, so it's pretty cold here. I mean, actually, today was nice. We almost hit like 70 today, which is like odd.
Oh, wow. That's good.
But like 2 days from now, it's going to be 30-something, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, you go from, it's New England weather, man. And how about the COVID there? Are you guys hanging out?
We didn't have any COVID here, really. We stopped, we managed to stop the community transmission a few months ago. So there's not really any community transmission. We do sometimes get new cases when people coming in, they're in quarantine, but we don't have any problems with walking around, and there's no rules on it at all.
Oh, I have one last question. It's kind of a funny question, but the guy asked me to ask on Instagram. So how to have your hair? A hair like yours, you know?
It's difficult hair, actually. It keeps coming down to this swoop like Justin Bieber, and I don't like it. So I've got to mess it up a bit.
That's cool. So once again, I appreciate your time. Everything you do for us sellers. You know, you have such an amazing tool, and you keep improving this tool, which greatly appreciate. I'm sure everybody that's watching this have the same opinion. One last advice that you can say for everyone that's watching this right now, just like you said about like the coupon, the discounts, just to wrap this up now, to say, you know, what do you think?
I like to give advice to people who are just starting out. I think when you very, very first begin the process with selling on Amazon in general, it's pretty easy to get disheartened when you first start, because what will happen when you first start is you're going to make mistakes the very first time that you run through. You might not check the history graph properly, or you might not check whether the item matches properly, or you might underestimate or overestimate the return on investment of a product. And so the very first time you send a bunch of stuff in, you might either break even or you might even take a small loss. but you'll learn 10 things from doing that.
Yeah.
And so the next time you send it in, you'll know heaps more about it. So then you send in another shipment and another shipment, and then after a while, every shipment is going to be profitable because you've made all the mistakes along the way. So don't get disheartened, and don't throw in the towel too early if you're still kind of starting out. I recommend that you go through the process, the cycle, a few times until you're comfortable with it, and then from there you'll realize whether or not this is something that's right for you. But I know that's not about tactical arbitrage specifically, but just in general, I find that's a good rule of thumb for people who are getting into the space and wanting to maybe make this a full-time business.
Amazing, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's it. Go enjoy your lunch. And he's like 9:30 at night. In Brazil, it's 2 hours ahead. So Brazil, it's 11:25 right now.
Oh, well, for those of you who are in Brazil, thank you very much for taking the time to stay awake for me. I appreciate it.
All right, Alex. Thank you, man.
Cheers.
Yes. Mate, right?
Mate.
Yeah. All right, mate. Talk to you later. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. See ya.
Deus. Isso aí, galera. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Foi super atencioso ele, com 1h30 aqui falando com a gente. Quer dizer, deu todas as informações, acho que possível, do Tactical Arbitrage. Eu vi que as pessoas não estavam fazendo muita pergunta. Eu fiz as perguntas que eu tinha aqui. Se alguém quiser entrar, vou fazer igual eu fiz da outra vez, tá? Estender mais umas meia horinha, não tem problema. Se alguém quiser entrar, me manda um inbox no meu Instagram, eu te passo o link aqui do Zoom para você entrar e a gente continuar essa live. Se você tiver mais alguma dúvida, coloca aqui no chat também, que eu possa responder para vocês. E é isso. Achei legal, quer dizer, por primeira vez, eu acho que a gente conseguiu colocar aí o desenvolvedor dessa plataforma tão importante para nós, vendedores, falar, né, explicar diretamente. Então, espero que vocês tenham gostado. E é isso, galera. Se ninguém quiser entrar, eu vou também parar. E vou descansar, que eu trabalhei para caramba hoje. Falou? Um abraço. Essa live vai ficar gravada. Tá? O que acontece é, depois de 2 dias, o YouTube ele adiciona o Closed Captions. Então, se alguém tiver problema, ele pode, daqui a 2, 3 dias, se você simplesmente pode chegar lá, clicar no Closed Captions, transformar para português, e você consegue ter a legenda em português. Tá? Teve uma dica legal que ele deu, que ele teve várias dicas. Esse do Always Scanning, hoje mesmo eu estava olhando, eu falei, para que serve isso? Eu sempre vejo os produtos escaneando ali, e tá aí, ele falou. Então, para a galera que está com dificuldade de encontrar produtos, pode só ir ali no Always Scanning e tá lá, o próprio software trabalhando para você. Como ele falou, demora um tempo, então se você abriu agora a conta do Tactical Arbitrage, amanhã provavelmente não vai ter muita coisa escaneando, porque ele demora um tempo para começar a coletar os produtos. Você precisa ter a conta profissional, tá? Ele deixou bem claro, então essa é uma pergunta constante que eu tenho. Tem que ter conta profissional? Então ele deixou bem claro que se você não tiver, vai funcionar, mas vai afetar o resultado que você vai ter, principalmente esse feature que é o Always Scanning, não vai estar funcionando. Então, o importante é você saber que, for trabalhar com tático arbitragem, você vai ter que ter a conta profissional. Quem quiser, o tático arbitragem, ele, normalmente, se você for direto no site, eles te dão 7 dias de graça. Se você usar o link que eu tenho aqui na descrição aqui da live, você ganha 10 dias de graça, galera. Eu sempre falo para os alunos do curso, 10 dias de graça é mais do que o suficiente. Praticamente a ferramenta ela sai de graça para você, porque em 10 dias você consegue encontrar produto suficiente para pagar a mensalidade do próximo mês, e assim vai. Se você encontrar um produto por mês, você já pagou o custo dela, que, se eu não me engano, é $89, tá? O básico, que é o do online arbitragem. Aí, se você for adicionar o wholesale, se eu não me engano, vai para $114, mas também, tipo, você tem que ver isso como um investimento, não despesa. Eu assino uma série de ferramentas e eu nunca vejo isso como despesa, é sempre investimento. É lógico que eu penso, o que vai me agregar essa ferramenta, tá? E aí foi mostrado já pelo desenvolvedor o quanto o Tactical Arbitrage pode agregar no nosso business, tá? Então, é isso, galera. Vamos embora. Ele já acabou de mandar mensagem aqui para mim agradecendo. Novamente, espero que vocês tenham gostado. Estou vindo com mais uma super entrevista que eu tenho certeza que vocês vão gostar também no dia 25 de março. Vou anunciar amanhã no meu Instagram. Que se você não estiver me acompanhando no Instagram, vai lá, clica, está aqui na descrição também. E, novamente, o curso Vendedor Internacional está aberto também, está aqui na descrição. Quem não está participando, quer participar. O curso é focado no arbitragem, então a gente usa bastante, tem um módulo sobre tático arbitragem lá dentro. E é isso, já falei demais. Boa noite para todo mundo, sucesso para todos. Como é que eu saio daqui agora?